After the pledge, please remain standing for a moment of silence, recognizing past McLeod County employees and officials that have passed in 2020. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, consideration of agenda items. Any additions or corrections to the agenda?
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Szymanski?
move to approve the agenda.
Motion by Commissioner Szymanski. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wright. Any discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consent agenda.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Motion by Commissioner Pohlmeyer. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Szymanski. Any discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Before we adjourn, any more business to come before the board? Hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Motion by Commissioner Kruger. Is there a
Second.
Second by Commissioner Szymanski. Any discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The 2020 County Board will adjourn sine die. We'll have just a couple minutes. Welcome the new commissioners to the platform and exchange some equipment here. Thanks, Rich. Thanks, Ron.
Thanks, Ron.
County Board in 2020. I'll go ahead and start over. Good morning. I'd like to introduce 2 new commissioners to the McLeod County Board in 2021. First District Commissioner Nathan Schmaltz and 4th District Commissioner Daryl Luthens. Welcome. Election of Board Chair. We'll call to order the first organizational meeting of 2021 of the McLeod County Board of Commissioners. I'm requesting nominations for the 2021 County Board Chair.
Sheila?
Mr. Chair.
It's been an honor to be the chair of this board for the last 4 years, and a privilege, but sometimes change is okay. And before anybody gets a bright idea about nominating me again, I'd like to nominate Commissioner Kruger to be chair.
Second that.
Motion by Commissioner Nagel to nominate Commissioner Kruger. Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Congratulations, Doug.
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations, Doug.
I appreciate the confidence, and I'll try to do as good as my predecessors. They've done a fantastic job. So moving along, we need election of a vice chair, so I'll entertain motions for the vice chair.
Mr. Chair?
Commissioner Nagel?
It's a little different, huh?
Yeah. It's going to take a while to get the verbiage
I
right.
nominate Commissioner Wright for vice chair.
Is Commissioner Nagel as nominated Commissioner Wright? Is there a second?
I'll second it, Mr. Chair.
Seconded by Commissioner Smalls. Is there any other nominations? Is there any other nominations? Is there any other nominations? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor of Commissioner Wright as vice chair, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
All right, consideration of agenda items.
Mr. Chair.
Go
I have
ahead.
an addition.
Okay.
I'd like to add an item to the agenda under County Administration. Item I, consider approval to appoint Commissioner Joe Nagel to the SWWC Service Cooperative Insurance Committee.
Mr. Chair, I'll move to approve the agenda with the addition.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Nagel to approve the agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wright. All in favor of approving the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Agenda's approved. Consent agenda.
Move to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Nagel to approve the consent agenda. Is there a second?
Second that.
Second by Commissioner Wright. All in favor of the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. COVID-19. Barrett, is she online or here? All right.
Mr. Chair, do you want to read at the bottom of page 3 the red writing?
All right. Sheila.
Okay,
I'll get it.
you're good.
Sometimes reading is harder than...
No, you're fine. Just so everyone knows, this is a confusing time, obviously, so we gave all of the commissioners a script to know where to go, but there's about 5 different colors on there, so it can be pretty
I
confusing.
feel like I'm back in high school with
Right.
a late book report. So
You're doing a great job on your book report. So I'm giving the COVID-19 update for our Health and Human Services Director, Barrett Spores, who cannot be here with us today. As of late yesterday, January 4th, we have had 3,123 positive COVID-19 cases in McLeod County since the beginning of the pandemic. At the last board meeting on December 29th, Barrett reported that we had 3,043 positive cases. It was looking like 48% of those cases were male, 52% female. McLeod County has had 40 COVID-19 related deaths since the start of the pandemic. Half of those deaths were of long-term care residents and the other half lived in the community. At this time, there are 100 residents hospitalized with COVID-19, 11 being in the ICU, ranging in age from 27 to 98 years of age. 73 active cases, with those people still being in isolation. The race of those testing positive, white or non-Hispanic at 83%, Hispanic and Latinx at 12%, with Black, American Indian, and Asian being under 1% and the remainder not reporting. Location of those positive COVID-19 tests: Blanco at 25%, Hutchinson 42%, Lester Prairie 8%, Winstead 8%, Silver Lake 5%, Stewart 2%, Plato 2%, Broughton 4%, and the remain, I believe 3% not reporting a location. The school rate is released every Thursday, and that's at 88.76%. McLeod County schools with identified COVID-19 outbreaks, 5 or more students of staff in the building and infectious in the past 14 days includes Hutchinson Park Elementary and New Discoveries Montessori Academy in Hutchinson. The Hutchinson Armory testing site switched to saliva testing as of January 1. Currently, we only have 2 business clusters, which means a business with 5 or more positive employees in the past 28 days. All of our long-term care facilities are connected with a COVID-19 vaccination pharmacy for the vaccination of their residents and staff. Barrett shares that we can all do our part to slow the spread. We must all consistently do what we know works to reduce community spread. Practice physical distancing. Wear masks when you're outside of your immediate household. Frequent hand washing. Getting tested if you have symptoms, and staying home if you're sick or have had a known exposure. She gave us a local public health vaccination planning update, which I think is of a lot of interest currently. All of our public health staff that will be working with the COVID-19 vaccine clinics continue to work on completing their required training to do so. Local public health will begin COVID-19 vaccinations in accordance to Minnesota Department of Health guidance. With that said, McLeod County will begin with local public health nurses that will be vaccinating others within our community, COVID-19 testers, and some local EMS staff. This will be held at the Solid Waste Building in Hutchinson Environmental Services WIC office due to staff having CPR training at the same time. At this time, we are working to have the next clinic the week of January 11th through 15th for more of the target population in Phase 1A Priority 1. At this time, we still have limited doses of Moderna COVID-19 vaccine to vaccinate this target population. Due to handling requirements of this vaccine, the planning of providing this vaccine is very comprehensive. So they plan in accordance to the number of vials that will be open to ensure no waste. Our public health staff, Barb Carlson and Erica Herzog, continue to plan for the vaccine clinics as they move through the phases. We are in the process of trying to pack up the Health and Human Services building, as you know, while preparing to utilize this building as the COVID-19 vaccination clinic site. They continue to work with all of our community partners to determine how to strategize a plan in vaccinating other target populations, such as community dentists, eye care providers, home health care, assisted living, elderly living facilities, group homes, pharmacists, and correctional officers, etc. This includes the target population for the Phase 1A third priority, which I unfortunately don't know a lot about, but Barrett wanted to share with you. Any questions? Barrett is on Zoom, so if you have questions, she would be able to respond in chat.
The only question I'd have, and I don't want to put you on the spot, Sheila, is there a comparison? Are the numbers going down? I mean, I obviously I don't have last year or last report's numbers with me, but I'm just curious. I don't want false security, but and then the other question, if Barrett is listening, I see the vaccination stations are up. Is there still some testing stations that are available?
So at the last meeting, she reported 3,043 positive cases. At this meeting, we reported 3,123.
Oh, so they're actually up.
So it's around a 22% increase. It's less than a 22% increase. As far as the testing stations, it was noted in here that the Armory in Hutchinson now has the saliva testing. I don't know about the local providers or hospitals.
But it'd be on their website.
I would assume so. It has been so far. As we know, that can change day to day, so Barrett seems to have an update here. Yes, the numbers are going down, but we are concerned about holiday gatherings, so I suppose we'd still be in the incubation period for people from Christmas holiday and the New Year's holiday. It's probably what she was referring to.
Thank you. Does the board have any questions for Sheila? I assume, I did read this time, you're going to give we're going to move on to the Government Center, and I see you're going to give the report for Contegrity.
Correct. So a monthly construction progress update on the McLeod County Government Center. I apologize, but you'll have to listen to me talk again because of our format today. Travis has sent his update through us, and I will give that. So budget, the project is continuing to maintain status quo with no major surprises as they relate to the budget. There's still close to 1/3 of the funds remaining in contingency. Similarly, there is also nearly 1/3 of the funds remaining in general conditions. Both will appear to have a positive balance at the end of the project with remaining funds for the county's use. Contractors are in the wrap-up process, which usually leads to incidental change discussions that are being worked on. Similar to the above, there are no large surprises on that front either. Substantial completion was issued and set as January 1, 2021. This triggers document closeouts with all contractors and will progress with all trades, getting required final paperwork. Schedule update, punch list wrap-up is underway, meaning we've been walking through and figuring out all those last-minute things. Liz, Scott, and myself have joined Contegrity and ISG on that, and we also are going over there on Thursday again. Much of the work from that first one is completed. Furniture install is complete for the most part, as most of you saw through pictures or visiting there yourself. Signage is lagging a little bit behind, but we knew that. With the interior product completing manufacturing around the middle of next week with an install following closely behind. So we won't open up without any clear signage as of giving people direction or where people are located, but you may see some temporary signage at opening. Contegrity Group's trailer is slated for removal from the site on Thursday. Sam will function within the space for the time being. He told me he'll be using my office, so it looks like I'm sharing. The move of the staff to the space is on track to commence next week as planned. Things are going well. The totes have been delivered to the offices. Liz did a fantastic job coordinating that, as well as Scott. And everyone is getting their stuff ready to go over and asking lots of questions of them. So, do you have any questions?
I have none, board.
Okay.
Here.
Thank you.
All right. One note is that the flag dedication ceremony is on January 8th. At 10 o'clock a.m. That is an outdoor ceremony. So if it's a beautiful day, Salt Lake today, maybe not a big deal to come and stand outside, but if you are attending, you may want to stay in your car until the beginning. And we want to thank our area veteran associations for bringing everyone together to come to that. Chair Kruger helped arrange that with our veteran service officer, Jim Lauer, and it's greatly appreciated. So on January 8th at 10 o'clock a.m., flag dedication ceremony at the Government Center.
Excuse me, Sheila, I would encourage anybody that can. It's going to be short and sweet. I particularly, and I think the whole county should be very proud of the Government Center. It's the first step with COVID. It's hard to have an opening of any kind, but we'll do it in segments, and I've gotten good response from the veterans across the county that are going to show up there. And again, we're going to post the colors and see how it all goes. So, thank you.
Thank you. We've been having a lot of questions about a grand opening. Obviously, now is not the time to have a grand public gathering in the building, so we will not be doing that right away. However, ISG contacted us yesterday, and there will be a virtual tour that will be done with the completed project, so that's soon. And the professional photography that's included with the project will also be done on Thursday. So pictures will be available to us once they're edited, and we will share those. So the flag dedication ceremony is not an opening of the facility per se. If anyone has questions, they can contact our office directly.
Right, and and again, I kind of apologize. I sent out a couple emails to different people, and it's real hard to cover everyone. Everyone is invited. You know, it's outside, and there's plenty of parking if we get good weather. We've got a nice new parking lot, and I'm hoping for a good turnout, so thank you. All right, moving on to Health and Human Services, and our County Administrator, Sheila, will also present that.
Thank you. Item A, consider approval of a service contract with Central Minnesota Mental Health Center for detoxification services for the period of January 1, 2021 through December 31, 2021 at a daily rate of $500 per client with funds from the Individual and Family Social Services budget, and authorize Barrett Spores, McLeod County Health and Human Services Director, to sign the contract on behalf of the McLeod County Board. Just noting, Barrett shared with the board not too long ago that a lot of the contracts now require e-signature, and that is why you will see this more often than before, so that she can complete that process. Central Minnesota Mental Health Center agrees to accept appropriate referrals from McLeod County for the purpose of providing detoxification services. McLeod County shall reimburse CMMHC at a daily rate of $500 per client, plus charges for necessary and agreed upon medical care, not included as part of the regular program. When transportation is provided by CMMHC, McLeod County shall reimburse the sum of $1.50 per mile for each trip. Civil commitment holds will be charged at a rate of $560 per day for every day after the 72-hour maximum detoxification stay. Thank you.
Any questions from the board for Sheila, or it being Barrett's on Zoom? She can answer some questions.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
question I have is, due to the extraordinary cost of the program, is there any option available to us to recover any costs associated with someone who's incarcerated?
And I know a little bit about it, but enough to get in trouble. But if Barrett wants to, or Sheila, if you can answer that.
Mr.
We
Chair,
had
thank
some
you.
dis-
So Commissioner Schmelz, we did talk about this recently because the detoxification costs for the county are high. And unfortunately, Barrett's not here today. She's probably typing in chat right now. However, there is a recovery effort that goes into place with this, but I don't know the details of that. I'm sorry. I don't want to speak to it incorrectly. I'd rather get you the information later. But you will, if you look back a couple of meetings, you will see the one for Brown County, I believe, and for others, for other contracts. And it, of course, is a concern, and we did share the costs throughout the year to try and have a better understanding what the impact is. And I know that Commissioner Wright has looked into it a lot too, with having been on the budget committee, and could maybe share some input.
Well, not really on that item directly, but I think Mr. Young can definitely fill in a lot. That we pay a lot of bills for the misbehavior of McLeod County citizens, and it's very unfortunate. And it costs us millions of dollars a year when you put it all together. And said it many times, if everybody just behaved, we could do this so much cheaper. But it doesn't seem to work. We don't seem to get that message across. So I see Mr. Young nod his head over there. So.
I forgot you were here, otherwise I could have just deferred to him. I'm sorry if I can't see you. Barrett said that everything shared was correct. Do you have anything to add? Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sheila.
It was a
And
good
thank you, Paul.
question, Commissioner, and being it's your first day here, I mean, and it's an important question we've asked before. And again, I don't want to quote, there's certain hours of our pay, and I don't want to get into that, but Barrett can surely send you an email and bring you up to speed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the contract.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Nagel to approve the contract. Is there a second? I'll second it. Is there, a motion's been made by Commissioner Nagel and seconded by Commissioner Kruger. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. All in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries.
Thank you.
Sheila, you get to take a break. Connie?
Good morning. Congratulations, Mr. Chair, Mr. Vice, and the newly electeds. Today I am here for one item, and it's an exciting item, to consider the approval of closure of McLeod County License Center services on Thursday, January 14th, 2021 through Tuesday, January 19th, 2021, due to the move of the License Center Department to the McLeod County Government Center and the inventory counts that are needed and camera installation. The Auditor Treasurer recommends closure of the License Center from those dates that I mentioned to allow staff to focus on the move and transition of inventory to the new facility. I have already obtained the approval of the variance request by Driver and Vehicle Services. License Center business would resume then on Wednesday, January 20, 2021 at 8 a.m.
Is there any questions from the board?
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead, Commissioner.
question I have is there going to be some media attention to this in our local paper? I assume it's going to be on our website as well, alerting the public to the closure?
Certainly. So after the, when I had the License Center closed for the election, I did that as well. We will be putting that on our website as soon as it is approved by the board. And then also I have the social media release ready to give to Hannah. And I could do a newspaper ad as well. Yeah.
And you can correct me, Connie, if I'm wrong, that weekend, I remember looking at this before, it's a long weekend besides. It's a Thursday, Friday, and then a weekend, and Monday is a holiday, so we're trying to, she did a good job of picking a weekend that has the smallest impact on our customers, so.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead,
I just
Shannon.
want to share that we do have a press release being prepared to make sure that all of the information is correct. Liz has been working on that. We've been discussing it, so we work with the different departments. However, like in Connie's situation where you have a specific service at a specific time, they'll share that. We will add into it. We use social media and our website to share all of that information, along with contacting all of the newspaper and radio stations and other local contacts.
Mr. Chair, and then one other item. So the reason the License Center would be closed one additional day from the other offices is when we pack up the inventory of the License Center on that Thursday, they will have to do an inventory, full inventory of their tabs, stickers, plates, full counting, which is over a half a day. And then the camera, the IDEMIA camera, is scheduled to be installed on that Friday at the Government Center. And then, of course, we'll be moving Friday. But if perhaps something would happen with the camera install, I had to allow one extra day to make sure that everything is going to be running smoothly. So that's why I also have Tuesday that the License Center is closed when the rest of the building, I believe, is opening that day.
Thank you, Connie. You may want to update us that you actually had to ask for permission from the state to do this. I mean, this wasn't, so if you want to recap that just a little for the new commissioners?
Correct. So anytime I close the License Center, I have to obtain approval from Driver and Vehicle Services. It's a form that I fill out and sign and then email to them, and they review it and then grant so far their approval for these two instances that I've closed it. I can't say if it's been closed in the past.
Thank you, Connie. Is there any more questions for Connie? If not, I'm looking for a motion for the closure of the License Center from January 14th to the 19th.
Mr. Chairman, I so move.
Motion made by Commissioner Smalls.
I second it.
Second by Commissioner Luthens. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Employee Relations. Good morning, Hannah.
Good morning. Mr. Chair, we just have one agenda item this morning. Consider adopting Resolution 21CB04, authorizing Human Resources to fill replacement positions, and this is an annual authorization.
Move to approve Resolution 21CB04.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Wright to approve the resolution. Is there a second?
Second.
Any more discussion?
Mr. Chair?
Go ahead.
And you want to go over a little bit how the Personnel Committee still vets these positions and goes, this isn't just a rubber stamp to go
Right.
through that.
Yep,
Go ahead.
correct. Thank you, Commissioner Nagel. So if there is any sort of request to, whether it's filling a position that was made vacant due to a retirement or someone resigning, or we're looking to increase or decrease hours, all of those requests do go first through the Personnel Committee. I'll put together a request and for approval from that committee, then that is brought to the board particularly for increases in hours. But the Personnel Committee is involved in all of those decisions, whether it's to fill, replace, or to change hours.
Thank you.
Any more discussion? If not, we'll proceed to vote to approve Resolution 21 CB04. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank
County
you.
Administration. Sheila.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
would you like to do the review of commissioners' calendars?
Mine was pretty light.
I think they're all
We're
right.
here,
I
we can-
apologize, I missed
got
that.
one.
I do have one. Go ahead.
Yesterday, we had Fairgrounds Commission meeting. Basically, went over the new organizational chart that we approved at our last board meeting. Had a discussion on removal of the building that was occupied by our Humane Society known as the Kitty Castle. So we'll be working on getting that structure removed, hopefully sometime during this winter. And then that site will be clear for whatever the next building will potentially be someday to take that spot. We took a tour of the new bathrooms. They're looking great. Can't wait to find events to bring to the fairgrounds to utilize them to their capacity. We found a new use for one of our existing buildings. The structure that is used as the swine barn and small animal show ring during the county fair has now been flooded for a hockey rink to offer additional ice time for our hockey playing youth of the area. So that was nice to find yet another way to bring people to our McLeod County Fairgrounds. And that was it for that meeting.
Mr. Chair, all I have to add is just some phone calls, and I was gonna bring up the hockey rink, and I think we better be careful. It might be all kinds of hockey players out there that's pretty popular.
Keep her busy, so.
Commissioners, it sounds good, actually. I was wondering how that was progressing, and I only had one meeting, other than some calls with constituents. I had MRC yesterday, Minnesota Rural County Caucus, and we're setting up our agendas for the legislature starting and the different items that we're going to support. I guess the number one item on there was broadband. That's a hot item for especially northern Minnesota and places in Minnesota where broadband is either very, very slow or non-existent. And there's a couple other items in there with drainage and public lands, sale of public lands, and or either getting subsidized a little better for the loss of property taxes and maintenance for that land. That's all I have. All right, now we can go to Sheila. I apologize, but
Thank
all
you.
good.
I have nothing to add. Commissioner Wright, you're very correct that that is a popular thing out at the fairgrounds, that swine barn. My 10-year-old son started practice last night for hockey again, and I haven't seen him happier in weeks. So I guess thank you to all who made that happen. Okay. Item A, consider approval of the proposed 2021 county board meeting dates, including the evening meetings for the Board of Appeals and Equalization and Truth in Taxation, as you see listed in the agenda.
Move to approve.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Nagel to approve the proposed 2020 board meetings. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wright. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor of the calendar, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item B, asking you to consider adopting Resolution 21-CB-02, awarding official McLeod County newspaper for 2021 to McLeod Publishing Incorporated in Glencoe, Minnesota. We sent invitations to bid via sealed bid to 3 local newspapers, including the McLeod County Chronicle, Hutchinson Leader, and Winstead Herald Journal. Bids were due to the Administrator's Office by 4:30 p.m. on December 31, 2020. Bids were solicited for the official McLeod County newspaper and the second publication of the McLeod County 2020 financial statement. Bids were received by McLeod Publishing and the Hutchinson Leader. We recommend awarding the bid of the official newspaper to the low bidder, McLeod Publishing Incorporated.
Okay, is there any more questions on our county newspaper? Okay, I'm looking for a motion then to approve resolution 21 CBO2 to award the contract to the lower bidder of the Glencoe Chronicle.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
I so move to adopt resolution 21 CBO2 awarding the official McLeod County newspaper for 2021 to McLeod Publishing Incorporated.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Smalls to approve the resolution. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Nagel. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll approve the, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item C, asking you to consider adopting Resolution 21-CB03, awarding second publication of 2020 McLeod County financial statement. The official McLeod County newspaper will receive the award for the first publication of the 2020 McLeod County financial statement. The second publication is recommended to be awarded to Hutchinson Leader. Bids were solicited for the publication of the McLeod County financial statement and were due to the Administrator's Office again by 4:30 p.m. on December 31, 2020. Bids were received by the McLeod County Chronicle and the Hutchinson Leader.
Move to approve.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Nagel. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Smalls. Any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item D, notification of annual list of depositories for McLeod County 2021. This is an annual requirement. Resolution 19-CB-03 adopted in 2019 authorized the McLeod County Administrator to designate depositories and to do so on an annual basis per the investment policy. The Administrator shall supply the Board of Commissioners with a list of those financial institutions designated as depositories. In your packets, you'll see a list of the 2021 designated depositories listed by their corporate locations. Thank you. Item E, consider closure of the following McLeod County buildings and/or departments to allow for employees to facilitate moving from their current office location to the McLeod County Government Center. A, McLeod County Health and Human Services and Annex Buildings, January 11, 2021, reopening at the Government Center on January 12, 2021. Item B, McLeod County Administration, Soil and Water Conservation District, known as SWCD, and Veteran Services, closing on January 13, 2021, reopening at the Government Center, January 14, 2021. Item C, McLeod County North Complex Building, closing January 14 and 15, 2021, reopening at the Government Center, January 19, 2021.
Any questions for Sheila on the closing? It runs along with the other closings that we talked with, but is there any more questions? If not, I'm looking for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Wright. Is there a second? I'll second it. Seconded by Commissioner Kruger. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item F, requesting your approval of the Personnel Committee recommendation to hire 2 part-time receptionists in the Administration Department. These 2 part-time receptionists would staff the reception desk at the McLeod County Government Center and would report to administration. This is in lieu of having a full-time employee. We believe it will give us some flexibility on coverage. Obviously, too, it's less of a cost to the county if there are not benefits for a part-time position. And it also sometimes opens up the candidate pool for us. So I would like to request having 2 part-time.
We've vetted this pretty hard through the Personnel Committee, and it just seemed to make the most sense, so I would move to approve.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Nagel to hire 2 new part-time receptionists for the administration department. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wright. Is there any more discussion?
Just one question to bring up. This will be permanent, correct?
Yes, it will. Thank you.
A permanent part-time,
Correct.
okay. And it's in the atmosphere today, it's a good way to go. I mean, I've talked around both ways, but with the atmosphere of hiring and finding good candidates, this is a good way to go. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item G, notification we discussed briefly earlier, just notification of a flag dedication ceremony for the McLeod County Government Center. That's located at 520 Chandler Avenue North, Glencoe, Minnesota. Be held at 10 o'clock a.m. on January 8, 2021. Please note the ceremony will definitely be held outdoors, and we will not be facilitating public tours of the interior of the Government Center at that time. If you do see anyone going in the building, it will only be the veterans or those who are participating in the actual dedication ceremony, getting lined up before they come outside. Thank you. And then we added, one moment, sorry. Item H, notification of McLeod County workshop to be held on January 19, 2021, following the McLeod County Board meeting via Zoom and at the Glencoe City Center, 830 11th Street East, Glencoe, Minnesota. I know people are wondering when we're going to start holding meetings at the Government Center, and that would not be until February, just so you're aware. And then item I was added at the beginning of the meeting, where we added the item to the agenda under County Administration to consider approval to appoint Commissioner Joe Nagel to the Southwest West Central Service Cooperative Insurance Committee. I want to give you a little bit of background on that. So this is our 2nd year participating in SWWC, which is an insurance group and insurance pool, which placed us into a large group. Previously, we were self-insured and experiencing high rate increases, and that's due to our population. So whatever happens in your insurance population is you bear that effect. This helped us get into a larger pool and not have as much of an effect, and we have seen an improvement since doing so. However, this Southwest West Central Service Cooperative, of course, has a board and committees, and they have asked directly to Commissioner Nagel if he would be willing to join their committee. This is not one where McLeod County always has a representative. So since Commissioner Nagel expressed interest in the past and they have a resignation on their board, they've asked him directly to participate, and this would be a good representation for McLeod County, in my opinion. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, thank you. You had to apply for it. I did. And this was a year ago, if you remember that. We talked about it in a workshop, and I applied, and we said we'd deal with it if it came up, and it did. I don't know an absolute ton about everything they do and how they do it. I do think it's important that I learn and that I'm there, especially if they're going to give us that seat, and I don't even know if it goes beyond the insurance piece of it a little bit with what they do. So it's something new that I wanted to be upfront with the board. I guess the question I would have for Mike, is this something that the board should approve? Because admittedly, I'm able to be on it because I'm a commissioner and that we're a part of that. So I want everybody to know about this for sure, but I didn't know if the board needed to approve the appointment or how that worked.
The board should approve it. It would also make you eligible for reimbursement for
diem.
Okay, so I guess I'll put it in your guys' hands with that, with any questions, but I do think it's important, and I know Paul and Doug know more about it, but if, with our representation and it's going well, hopefully that can help improve it too. I hope.
And one more note, this is not a rotating position dedicated to McLeod County.
Right.
So this appointment is,
Now, right now,
Based
it's
in
a year
person,
appointment,
an
and we
application.
don't know where it goes from there.
Well, personally, I'm glad I did know about it ahead of time, and I'm glad that Commissioner Nagel had enough interest in it to apply. And I guess I'd ask for, is there any more discussion or any questions that the board would like to ask?
I'll make a motion to seat Commissioner Joe Nagel on that committee. Sounds like something we need a seat at the table on, so.
And I'll second it.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Wright and seconded by Commissioner Spalz. Any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Congratulations, Joe.
We'll see. Thank you.
All right, I guess that's bringing us towards the end. Anybody have any questions, open forum?
one moment, please, there is a question in the chat. The workshop will not be streamed live. It is the Zoom link.
It will not, okay.
It will not. So I can give an update on that after you're done with press relations.
Press relations, Karen, congratulations on getting the, you have anything? All right, that brings us to the end. I guess I'm looking for a motion to recess our board meeting until January 19th, 2021 at 9 a.m. via Zoom in the Glencoe City Center Ballroom. In other words, here, 1107 11th Street East in Glencoe.
So moved.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Nagel, second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Luthens. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Made it through one. Thank you.
Thank you. So the workshop will start, I believe, at 10 o'clock via Zoom with the link sent out. And no, that is not live streamed because that's not part of our contract. So thank you.